Good evening, and welcome to the Heikadelic Show. We would like to take this moment to let you know that viewer and listener discretion is strongly advised. So sit back, have yourself a nice cool drink or hot drink, and enjoy the show. And welcome once again to the Heikadelic Show.
Hi there, my name's Mr. Wiggleton, and I'm actually the producer and janitor here at the Heikadelic Show. But anyhow, I think it's good, but it really it's pretty late show, so I don't even watch it myself, so I have no idea what it's about. But that Heiko guy, he's pretty smart. He is pretty smart. He doesn't pay me well, but he's pretty smart.
Wow.
Hey!
You guys.
Hey, and Richard is right. Here we go.
Oh yeah, Richard.
Welcome everybody to another edition of the Heikadelic Show. How you boys doing?
You know what? Richard's on first. There's no Deb. There's no, oh my gosh. There's Kathy right after Richard.
Okay.
All
Actually,
right.
I met Richard at the weekend on Saturday. We had a pint.
Ah.
Oh, nice.
We went out for a pint because he's back. He was back for an 80th birthday surprise family party.
Yeah.
And remember,
Okay.
do you remember? It was last year. I can't remember. It was like months and months ago. I did a backside, and it was a Pink Floyd album called Medal, and I think Kathy got it, if I'm not mistaken.
Right on.
And and then Richard started talking about Pink Floyd and Dark Side of the Moon, and he said he was going to buy a copy, but it was like $68 for a vinyl copy. And I said to him, "Don't worry about it. You've got a copy. You can have mine." So he got in touch with me, and he got his copy of Dark Side of the Moon on Saturday afternoon.
Oh, nice.
And a bonus, he also got Pink Floyd's Atom Heart Mother, and what was the other one? There's three altogether. Oh, and Medal, the actual Medal, that album as well. I gave him three.
Very good, George.
As part of my vinyl remains.
Nice.
Yeah. So it was great to chat with him for a couple of hours. Yeah.
So we got Kathy out there. Hey, Kathy.
Cheers,
Hi,
Kathy.
Yeah.
I still got to get together with you and get my floppy record.
Oh yeah, it's here. Well, listen, I was out in my bunker. I was out in the big bad world. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was out there. Yeah.
There's Melanie. Hey, Mel.
Cheers, Melanie. Wow.
Hi,
so,
Melanie.
did you guys do anything exciting this past week?
Well, I started a newspaper route, so a new job.
Nice.
Yep. And
do you deliver on your bicycle, or do you use the 3-wheeler?
No, I use my feet. Sometimes my military truck, I'll fire it out the side cannon.
Nice.
But you were mentioning about the weekend. Richard sent me a text as well, and I didn't dawn on me to tell him that we were going to see a band on Saturday. So I was out there with Kathy was there, Terry Code, and
Terry.
And his girlfriend Shauna. So we had an awesome time. Our buddy Troy was there as well. It was a lot of fun. But
very good.
We went to see
Troy, the bass player, with Terry. That Troy.
Troy's the bass player, and Terry's
with Tears,
singer, and kind of founder of the band, I guess.
Yeah. I met.
And he's
Terry was on the time I was in the studio one time, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Troy.
He's doing a lot of. Their band's doing a lot of stuff. They'll be doing some shows and that. So we'll see if we can get Terry on some night.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll have some guests coming on with Derek being away for a couple of months. we'll
Yeah.
see if we can fill that. We have Junior coming on a bit later. We have Junior coming on a bit later. So
Excellent.
always
Yes.
good to see him.
Yeah.
And so yeah, Kathy and Richard are chatting here.
I've still got
Go on here.
Kathy's Duran of what's it called? The one from the Bond movie in the 80s.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
We
But
got
you know
the
what?
45 vinyl of that. The UK pressing in a special sleeve. Yeah.
So George, maybe next week,
Yep.
if you're open, we could take a run over.
Yeah.
And I can show you how to do those tricks and triggers for the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm up for it for sure. Yeah. Actually, it was
yeah,
great with Richard because I had.
Keisha.
Pardon?
Hey, Keisha.
Yeah.
Evening, Keisha. Yeah, I'm always fascinated with Richard's stories. There's some I hadn't heard before. It was brilliant. Of his security days and the people he met and the things that happened. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. Right.
We should talk to him and see if we can get him on again too. He's always got great stories to tell.
Yeah, it'd be a great,
I think
guest.
Richard would come on right now.
Guest host.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely always good to hear, the stuff he's done in that. And he's got some different contacts out there, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we all went out to see this band at the Atria, and it was like a Motley Crue tribute band. And first, I'm not really one for judging bands, but I have to say that if you're a tribute band, work on it. Like, these guys have been around for a while. I've heard of them. I'm not going to name the name because I don't know that crass, but at the end of the day, Singer was good. He was in and out of the pocket sometime, but who knows? Bad day. But then the guitar player I thought was really good. And then of course there was the drummer was really good. And there was a bass player, I think. But the band itself, like when they got to Shout at the Devil, they did some kind of weird thing where they almost like combined it with what's that song? It's kind of got slide in it. Anyway, honestly, you gotta keep that song pinned on the original sound. Don't play with it. You can't mess with success. So $15 for a tribute band, which is reasonable because sometimes you pay $30-$40 for a really good one. But in this case, nope. I was out of there by midnight, and that was just because the company was a lot of fun. But other than that, yeah. But hey, you know what? Don't know until you get to see them. So
you gotta try that kind of stuff out. And some are amazing, and some are go practice some more.
Right. Yeah. Oh boy, George, you got a fan here on tonight.
A fan.
Yeah. Kathy.
Oh, there you go. Well, there it is. It's right here. And Ringo, there's your Stones floppy disk.
Nice. So,
right
George, do you have the Wall, an extra copy of the Wall, like an album version or vinyl?
I used to, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'll check. I know I have it on CD now, so I'm not sure.
I bought it. There's a great place in Pickering, a secondhand store. I don't know. Kathy's, she maybe knows I can't remember the name. It's a used. They sell vinyl and they sell CDs. They've got a couple of locations.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not disc something, is it? Have they got one in Ajax?
Yeah, they do. It's called. It's at 95 Bailey. That's all I could tell you.
Yeah. I've been in there. Yeah. They have DVDs and everything, and
I knew she would know it.
Vinyl and all sorts of stuff.
Deja. Yeah, I've heard of them before.
Deja Vu discs. That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. So
I was wondering if they're even still open. I keep meaning to check in there.
Yeah, they've been around for a while.
Know what? They're awesome because I asked them for the CD version because in my BMW it's got a data bank and I can load everything in, right? So I've been doing that with classic stuff because I bought the guy the car from a guy who loved hip hop and all that stuff. So it's loaded with Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, and
Right.
of course I kind of look funny pulling up to, and my windows are all smoked, and it's a low profile sporty BMW, like a 3 Series in it. So yeah, and then when I roll down the windows, if I'm, I got Dr. Dre kind of cranked up.
Yeah.
So the brothers get a laugh out of me. But great tunes in there. And then I thought, I'm going to load a bunch of classics. So I bought some AC/DC albums, Pink Floyd, The Wall, and there's a great tribute band I have loaded in there as well. And then I got the Bee Gees and all kinds of crazy stuff in there, but love it.
Right.
Bose sound system, guys. It's the best sound system I've ever heard. Like, I could sit in there for a long time just listening
Well,
to
cars are incredible. I used to have that too. Back in the day, I had an old Dodge Dart, and I had the best sound system in that freaking thing. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. So Richard, Deja Vu, I think there's another location. I can't remember if it's Oshawa area, but they have 2 locations out.
Yeah, they used to have one in Scarborough as well, actually, at Kennedy Commons.
That's the one.
I don't know if that's still there.
Yeah.
Actually, I met the owner, or the owner met me when he first started opening them, because he actually came up to the tower. I think I've still got his card somewhere. He gave me a card, and said, I'm opening a store for like CDs and what have you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Very cool. So what about yourself, Heiko? What did you do this weekend?
A little bit of ice fishing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Same place?
Good.
Or just
good time. No, we went with Keisha came with me, and that was the weekend before.
Right.
I went with my cousin and her husband and my wife. The 4 of us went together. Keisha was there too with her. I think it's boyfriend now. I don't know, but her mate.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's official yet, but.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold the phone on that one. I
got to meet him.
So is he new?
He's new. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
So the tarot cards were correct then, I guess.
Wow, yes, they were.
Wow.
Yes, they were.
That's almost.
You weren't up in that -30, were you, Heiko?
Yep.
Yep. Ice fishing in -30, and you do that.
It was freaking cold. Oh my god.
And that's how you relax. Okay.
Yeah. Well, again, once you're in the hut, you got a heater on in there, everything.
Yeah.
Take your coat off. You're down to your t-shirt, and you're sitting there having some drinks and
it's okay.
telling jokes and catching fish. Like it's wonderful.
There's nothing like it.
I remember when it used to get that cold. What did I have? What was one of my first vehicles that I had when I came in? I think it was a Phoenix. And when it got really cold, well, those are the days when you had a cassette deck, right?
Right.
And it used to just play really slowly.
Yes, the old ones did that. Yeah. So the music was kind of like,
so you actually the car warmed up or whatever.
Get the car warmed up, and then you're good to go.
So I got a question for Richard. Richard, are you still out this way, or what's happening?
No, we went back Sunday afternoon. He was telling me. Yeah.
Yeah, I apologize because we could have got you out Saturday night for sure.
Yeah.
There's
he was going to an 80th birthday party.
Yeah. Richard's not into getting out in the cold. He's going to sit and chat in the pub.
That's right. I'll have my Guinness and Richard will have his Coors Light, and we'll just leave us.
Yeah. So I think Junior's having a connection problem because he keeps going out and then freezing. So he's frozen again. So we'll give him a minute to.
Yeah, let's give him a bit to get it together.
Yeah. Oh, yes, it was all in the.
There you go.
Exclusive.
Yes, it's official.
Hey,
oh my God!
First time ice fishing, and I think he's out.
You're hearing it here first, live on the Heikadelic show. Yes, Lisa now has a boyfriend.
That's right. We keep track of how it develops. And weekly updates.
My tarot skills are available for bar mitzvahs and
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
coming out parties.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all in the cards. Yeah, I remember that very well, actually.
Yeah, that was really good.
There's Junior.
So
He
sounds like
blacked
he
out again.
enjoyed himself. Well, Keisha, is he with you right now, watching the Heikadelic show with you, or no?
Yeah, because that's a deal breaker right there. If he can't sit
I
through
know,
an
like he's got to be into the show, otherwise, get rid of him now.
Yeah. Yep. There's the door, bud. we gotta Heiko proof him or Heiko test them or something, right?
That's right. You
Absolutely.
have to run the gamut, as they say.
You know what? Let's get him on the show. Keisha, put him on right now.
Yeah, let's give him the.
Yeah. Let's grill him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I you know, again, reading the cards, we just did that for entertainment. So, and in fact, I qualified that by saying, look, don't go break up with your significant others or anything, right? Because it's purely entertainment.
Right.
This looks like Keisha took it a little too seriously. So,
Yeah, she did.
no, that's good. That's
Mhm.
good for her. So, Junior's trying to pop back in again. We'll wait till his connection's stable and he can give us a thumbs up when he's ready. Oh,
All right.
there he is.
All right.
He's swirling his camera around.
All right. Sorry, folks.
He's in bed and he works early in the morning.
No, we'll let him off this week.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, that's good. So why don't we kick it off with while Junior's trying to get his connection sorted out here. We'll get the hang on a minute. Wait for it.
Hang on. Let's get Junior in on it.
Let's do it official.
Yeah.
Hey folks, it's time for George's backside, my favorite part of the show. So sit back and have a look at his backside. And you can catch George out in the clubs, DJing, that's right, flipping those discs, and whatever else he does. But hey, right now, I just want you to focus on his backside and come up with some answers.
All right. Hey, Junior.
All right. There's
Right,
Junior. All right, buddy. You're just in time to do the backside.
Okay.
No, I don't know if he's going to do the backside, but yeah.
Do you want to do it now?
Yeah, go for it, buddy.
All right. So don't shout. Just say you know it or something like that, and let's see if we get any other responses from the Heikadelic Nation. All right. There you go.
I'm going to put Junior back in the green room.
To the glare off it.
Connection sorted. I know that somehow.
Yeah, I do too. I think. I won't throw the guess out there. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what happens.
Come on, fans. Who is this?
Ringo's
this is
got
the back of the
2
album.
weeks in a row.
Oh.
You got it last week, right?
I think I got it last week and the week before.
And the week before. You had 2 weeks, so.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I
can't remember what it was last week now.
I don't remember.
I can't remember. Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
So
no, last week was
Sandra. Good to see you.
It is solo. Last week was Def Leppard.
I was a little concerned.
That's right.
That Sandra didn't show up as kind of the first one on, so I thought, she's not interested because Derek's left us for 2 months.
I know, eh?
Kathy's saying UK or US?
UK.
And is it solo or band? Sandra?
Yeah, it's solo.
UK solo.
Okay. Oh, right. Kathy's right. Derek got it last week. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
You
had the 2 weeks before.
He got it. So I got it the week before, I guess.
All right. So
it's not who I thought it was.
No?
No?
Why?
No.
Who did you think it was?
I don't know. For some reason, I thought it was Supertramp.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't buzz you. I won't buzz you on that one. You won't get officially buzzed.
So we did say a band.
Oh,
right?
Kathy's saying what era?
This particular album came out in the mid-70s, I believe.
Oh, not what I
Mid-70s UK solo artist. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, he's had albums before that and albums
Roger
after.
Hodgson?
Roger Hodgson from Supertramp. Well, unfortunately, I don't believe that's correct.
I'm going to eat a banana sideways. If that.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
good. That's a fail. Is it blood rock sausage?
Do you know what? It isn't.
One day.
You guess that every time, Ringo. One day you're going to get it right.
I'm trying to find an album by him.
I'm going to have to create a band called Blood Rock Sausage.
That's right, and I'll be the first one at the presses getting the album.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? You can
Rod
put
Stewart.
MCM up there someday. Yeah, good guess, Kathy. I would have thought.
Is it a good guess?
Oh,
Jeff Lynne,
Jeff Lynne.
ELO. What happened to Junior?
Bob Marley.
Bob Marley.
He's having
I mean, it could be
connection
Bob
issues.
Marley. It could be.
Junior knows.
Weird.
Don't worry
Yeah.
about a thing.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Well, hopefully Junior's connection stabilizes and then we're good to go.
Okay. Oh, there's Junior.
Yeah.
There's Junior coming in. Hey, buddy. Okay, let's put him back in the.
Oh, he's gone again. I lost him again.
Yeah. Oh, he's still trying to get on. What
Does he live out in the country or something? Like,
was the artist part of a band? So
no, he was always solo.
always solo.
Oh,
Mhm.
man.
He's huge in the 70s. Like, he started off late 60s and then became massive as we went into like 71 through to like almost the end of the 70s. He was massive.
David Bowie.
David Bowie.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
That's a stump there. Huh.
Mm-hmm. It's a tough one.
It is.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Male or female?
Male.
Okay. And I'm not.
I don't know where Eric Clapton's from, but I don't know why that name popped into my head.
71. Tom
Without
Jones.
further ado. What's that?
Sandra's saying Tom Jones.
Tom Jones. Okay, that's an interesting one, but unfortunately.
Oh, Sandra, that's pretty. Yeah.
When Kathy said Roger Hodgson, if she would have got that, I would have ate a banana sideways. But
yeah,
really,
I
want to see that.
At that point, she has a back cover album version of Shazam that she can take a picture in and find it, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Album recognition.
Yeah.
No,
Wow.
I don't have this one.
All right, put it to one side for now.
Get your whiffy sorted. Tom Jones. It wasn't Tom Jones.
I actually saw him in the 60s
Richard,
and in the
you got a
70s.
guess?
And the last
really?
time I saw the most recent.
Elton
Oh.
John.
Elton John.
Man.
And the most recent time was in Toronto in 2016.
Oh, wow. So he's still at her.
It's still out there.
So he's a grandpa now.
I would think so.
Richard. Hey, you know who's a grandpa right now?
Who?
Mr. Code from Toad.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
Congratulations.
I
Terry.
saw that a while ago online. That was fun.
Well, Richard says he's completely stumped, but anyway, we talked about this. My mum wouldn't let me go. The first time I wanted to see him, my mum wouldn't let me go. He was on the same bill as Jimi Hendrix, and she said, "You can't go to that crowd." And I was,
Neil.
I was about 13, 14 at the time, about 14. Yeah, 13 and a half, going on 14.
Wow.
I mean, he was playing in Manchester, and on this bill with a couple of other artists, but top of the bill was Jimi Hendrix. And my mum
Wow.
said, you know,
Okay.
no, I just wanted to go and see.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What about Neil? Oh gosh. Oh, he lived up by Bowmanville.
Neil Young.
Neil Young, yeah.
No.
Sorry, my brain's not
He was in.
He's not from the UK.
Yeah.
And Neil Young would not do something like that. So
No,
like,
he lived in North Pickering, didn't he?
I thought it was like
He lived in Omimi.
Omimi.
Yeah,
Omimi.
Yeah. That's where the museum is. Yeah, but I think
That's where his last show was.
So it wasn't Bob Marley. We already
No. I remember that somebody, wherever the house it was in Omimi, I thought for some reason there's a Pickering connection. I remember
Brian Wilson.
Brian Wilson is from California. There's no California in the UK.
We sure
Damn.
I mean, there should be.
There should be. Well, what do you mean?
And I heard a story about wherever the house he lived at in Omimi, whatever time he spent there. Bob Dylan was playing in Toronto at the amphitheatre. And he actually drove and knocked on the front door of the house and asked the people, could he have a look around? Whoever lived there. So they couldn't believe it. They opened the door and it was Bob Dylan.
Nice.
Yeah. And it was called Youngtown. It's like a great rock and roll museum that a guy called, what was his name? But he was a huge Neil Young fan. And it's like a hidden gem, this museum he had, but it was all dedicated to like Neil Young, but there's other stuff there as well. And Neil actually came up, I think it was about, was I still in Peterborough then? About 10, 12 years ago it must have been now. Yeah. Neil actually came and, actually visited Youngtown, as it was called.
Interesting.
What we'll do to kind of keep things going, we'll leave the guesses till we'll check in if somebody figures it out. Then
Yeah.
But if it's a stumper, then what we should do is put it up on the site, but not all of the details. But at least
I'll have to blank some of it out. Yeah,
we have all week to figure it out, right?
That's right.
Eric Frampton.
Talking about things to figure out. Do you remember
who's Eric Frampton?
Are you talking about Peter Frampton, Kathy?
Peter Frampton, maybe.
Peter
or Eric Clapton.
Eric Clapton.
You got two names there. Eric Frampton.
Peter Clapton.
First name. Well,
yeah.
We're
talking about like running it on a week. Do you remember a couple of weeks ago I said, what is the very, very tenuous, extremely tenuous link between me and Crosby, Stills and Nash? No one came up with that one either. So that's out there for anybody that had to have a stab at that one.
You did too.
Yeah.
Nobody answered that, right?
No. So we'll let that run on. It's very tenuous.
Kathy's saying she's stumped. Richard's stumped.
Richard.
Wow.
Can't say any more, but
we lost Junior.
We were talking on Saturday, but anyway, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, okay. I think maybe we could just sort of move on and
yeah.
Look at that. It's George.
And you said it was going to be easy. You thought we were just going to guess it right away.
No, I don't think it'd be easy. If you put 2 and 2 together, you might click who it is.
2 and 2 makes 3. There you go.
I
got it.
I have all his albums.
So, yeah, I've been looking at different types of guests we can get on, and so we were at a place called Abundance, which sells a lot of spiritual, like everything from Wiccan to to Satan.
Right.
And they got a lot going on there. They they have courses and so it's a lot of knowledge books and stuff like that. But a great little shop. There's another one called Odyssey out on Kingston Road. Abundance, I believe, is near Hickory and Highway 2 in Whitby. So we're gonna get them on and soon, and that would be great.
Okay.
But looking around for different subjects we can bring in. There's a lot of really cool stuff out there. So, just to kind of segue for a second, we were talking about like the flat earthers, right? When we had
Yes.
that guest on, we had over 3,000 live audience on YouTube alone. Live.
Yeah, it's funny. I just talked about him the other day, and I'm hoping we can get him back on the show.
Yeah,
that was a good show.
Yeah, it was a great
Yep.
show. And then there was on Facebook, we get almost 1,000 views, right?
Yeah.
So that's great. And so that kind of being the theme, like, our we've sustained this program for a lot of years now, right, Heiko?
Yeah.
And then kept it going through COVID.
Yep.
We've never asked for any money. We tried a sponsorship campaign, and that just now like a lot of local places don't really, things are kind of back in business post COVID, so that's good.
Yeah.
To see, but it like to see other programs out there that go absolutely viral. They're tapped into a lot of socials. So what we want to do, and anybody who's on can please chime in. If we're looking to shift our presence from Facebook,
Yes.
we'll be on Facebook, okay? But as a primary, we're going to start really pushing YouTube. It's been a placeholder. We have a couple of 100 episodes on there right now. So more to come on that. So we're going to switch over, and that'll be our primary. We're going to do a lot of
Yeah, so we're hoping people will start looking for us on YouTube instead of Facebook.
right.
Right?
That's right. So we're going to set up a link on Facebook, and we'll see if we can migrate. Convert.
It's funny about YouTube. I'll tell you what I did at the weekend, because there was this commercial. It's an American commercial, and it's for like food, like fresh food, and it's got this really catchy tune, right? And I thought, I kept hearing it, but I'd always miss it. I'd hear it and go, oh, what's that tune? It sounds so familiar, but I don't know what it is. And I actually tracked it down, because at the weekend I heard the commercial coming on, ran into the room and thought, let's wait what it is, because it only just comes on at the very end. And I went onto YouTube to find the commercial, and there it is. There's the commercial with this music. It's got, the blah blah foods market, whatever, with the duets, the duets, right? So let's find the actual whole song, because that was just like a 40-minute commercial, or whatever. So it comes up, pops up, and it's like, I think it must be from the 60s, like 62, and it's just the 45, on the label and everything.
Right.
And I start reading down the comments, and it's like, have you just come on because like you heard this commercial and you had to go and find out? And it's like every comment's like that. I just came on here to find out what that song was. It's such a great song. And they're all like, yeah.
So like, George, Kathy's saying Cat Stevens, or sorry,
or Joe Cocker
first.
Joe Cocker. Let's see, Joe Cocker. Let's see what we can do with Joe Cocker.
And then she goes on to say Cat Stevens.
She says Cat Stevens. Joe Cocker, by the way, is from.
Wow, nice job, bro. Holy smokes.
He's from Sheffield. I think he's dead, Joe Cocker, so I wouldn't be seeing him in 2016.
Wow.
Well done, Kathy.
She's pretty smart.
Wow.
You're
a champ.
I don't know if she's tied or surpassed Derek's, wins. Definitely, blowing mine away, but we need to come up with an annual award now for the backside.
Yeah, whoever can spot the most backsides.
That's right.
Spot the backside.
We should start doing that, keeping track.
Yep, George.
Yeah, we should. I never actually kept a log.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll start at the beginning. Start showing some from the beginning again.
Yeah.
So how good people's memories are.
Richard's suggesting Rumble, that YouTube will demonetize if we talk about banned topics. Yeah. We get censored all the time. Nobody really sees it because we get asked to chop things out. And YouTube it's an easy button to make those changes if you need to. Yeah, we're open to a lot of things. I mean, even Tubi, which I watch a lot now. It's a television thing. It's kind of like Netflix, but they have programs like ours on there, right? And it's not that hard to get on. We'd have to do a lot of editing, obviously, because we're pretty raw. Yeah, so I think we want to organize some stuff and move forward and kind of bring on interesting guests and, and then if it monetizes, great. If it doesn't, it's still a cool, fun show to have. It's like a friend network, right? So the people who do show up on a regular basis, it's a lot of fun. And then we do get a lot of views during the week, right? Some weeks more than others, but
yeah.
So Sandra's saying, "Yay, Kathy."
Yes. Oh, everybody's giving thumbs up to Kathy. Nice job, girl. Oh, we have to ban her now, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Coming from Richard, our security guy. Very cool.
And we'll have to get Kathy on one day, and she can hold up a backside, and we'll have to see if we can guess what it is.
That's
That'll
right.
give George a turn too.
Yeah,
That's right. It would. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's funny we were just talking about that because we have a friend who is looking to become a YouTuber, and it's it's not easy. You can't necessarily assume that your content or your personality is funny enough to just all of a sudden go viral, right? We've been at this for how many years? So
yeah, look at us.
Maybe Gary was right. We got faces for radio.
That's it. Yes. People finally saw us live and they went, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, could have a good point.
Speaking of someone we had on a long time ago, hey, there's Junior. Hopefully your connection's good now.
Sounds good.
Looks like it.
Things, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a couple of things. Now, my phone rang, which I had to take, was people from Vancouver. And you're right. I don't know. I've had a couple of issues with this computer and technical shit. This may even cut out. I don't know, but it's been a little bit frustrating. But I did catch some of what you guys were talking about. How are you, by the way, other than that?
Good.
We're good, buddy. We're really good. How about you?
Doing well today.
Yeah? Nice. That's always good to hear.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hey,
always good to have you on, man.
It's funny. The guy I've been seeing every once in a while now online talking about YouTube and stuff, Johnny No Cash. He's got a lot of stuff happening.
Yes.
Yeah. He's got this new trend called Barn Life, I think it's called.
Yeah.
All right.
You seen that?
Yeah.
So
I did say,
so
did you guys talk already, by the way? Because like I said, I've been messing around about this earthquake that some even down in Ajax area.
No, I was going to bring that up, but go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah,
okay, good.
No, it's a lot of people didn't notice or anything. That was this morning, right?
Yes.
Was it really?
It was 4.6 on the Richter scale.
Yeah, it was quite major. Buffalo got a little bit more of a tremble, but over, my mind, unfortunately, somewhere, it was a Turkey or something. They lost 1,000 plus people or something.
Oh my!
It's going to be more than that, I think.
Yeah,
So
it was really bad.
Junior, this just in live.
Hey, this is Spiffy Vengeance, and I'm reporting for the Heikadelic Show. In behind me, you can see the War of the Worlds going on as we speak. It's amazing. It's a light show. It's over the Pickering Darlington nuke plant, but we're not sure what's going on. We think it's aliens, because if you watch, we've been watching this for almost an hour now, and the light show is incredible. What we thought was just a storm appears to be possibly alien invading the Durham region. This is Stiffy Vengeance, and I am going to try and stay awake and watch the show behind me, and hopefully I won't get probed. See you on the Heikadelic Show Monday night.
Is it you that does those up, Ringo?
Yeah.
No, that's Stiffy.
Yeah, but who does all the little characters up?
No, Spiffy Vengeance is one of my little elves.
Is that your technical work, Ringo?
Yeah, but not very technical.
Oh well, to some is not. That's what I find amazing about some of the being able to do some of the tricks with your computer and
Yeah,
stuff. I wish I was
Yeah.
more.
it's fun.
Yeah.
So, but
So Sandra says, "Looking great, Junior."
yeah.
Kathy
Oh,
says,
thank you,
"The
Sandra. You're
Ajax
very
had an
kind.
earthquake."
What time was the earthquake at then?
It was early morning. I'm not sure exactly. I just caught some of the news with regard.
Yesterday?
It was on
It
breakfast
was
television, so that's why I kind of caught
it
it.
was like between 6 and 6:30 a.m. this morning.
All right, yeah, it was early.
It was early. Yeah.
Hmm.
And I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
What am I right? Even unless the listeners, unless you guys know, I think it was Turkey. If I'm not,
It is Turkey, yeah, because I
Yeah.
heard about
Yeah.
it, and then this evening I saw some of the footage of some of the buildings coming down. It's like unbelievable, like complete
Yeah,
buildings just.
that's what I thought.
I
Yeah,
mean, Turkey.
Yeah,
it reminded me of
and I
something.
think there's like over 3,000 buildings just collapsed.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I didn't
Mother
realize it
Nature,
was that
boy.
major. Yeah,
Mother Nature.
It was
sometimes
major.
Look out! It shows how vulnerable we really kind of are in some ways, aren't we?
yeah. I mean, most people were in the buildings at the time, but the time of day it was as well. It was like it was like in the morning.
Hi, Kathy.
Yeah.
So people were out
I
to
saw-
work or school and things like that. So that's horrific.
I saw a video where people were stopped in traffic, and the camera shows all the cars shaking on the road.
Have you guys ever
Yeah.
yourselves, by the way, had an experience with an earthquake?
Yeah, I have a couple of
Yeah.
Little one, yeah, little tremors.
Mhm.
It's a freaky feeling, isn't it?
Yeah,
Well,
and
It's funny because you say it's a freaky feeling,
Yes.
but it's almost a sound that
Mm.
goes through your body. Like it's.
That's a
I
good
know what
way
you're
to
saying.
put it, Heiko. I like the way you say
Yeah.
it. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how
It's
I
like
describe
you
it.
can't run and you can't, I don't know. Like I say, you have to have the
Yeah.
experience.
It
And that's
does.
Yeah,
goes-
yeah. Well, there is a fault here near Oshawa. There's some kind of fault here, isn't there? Around
Well, there
this
is
area.
all up even through my way, Ontario. It's because of all the rock. I'm guessing Ringo would know a
Yeah,
little bit more about
yeah.
that, perhaps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I was
Well-
actually I'm good few years, about 20 years ago. I was in actually LA visiting a friend of mine, and we just sat there at his kitchen table one afternoon, and it was like a train going past.
That's a
big,
gimme though in
or a
Los
big
Angeles.
truck on the
It's almost
street.
like the weather, isn't it? Some days you hate to
Yeah.
say it, but
Yeah, and I remember him looking at his wife Debbie, and they sort of looked at each other. "Ooh," and he said, and I said, "What was that?" I said, "Oh, I thought it was a train or a truck." He said, "No, that was a tremor or whatever." He said, "Look at the swimming pool," and it's like,
Well, Richard said.
"I'll go home in 3 days, Steve. I'm out of here."
So Richard said 7.5 on the rectum scale or Richter scale.
Rectum.
it wasn't that high.
Mm.
No, I don't think it was
Well, over
7.5.
there,
No, maybe over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Turkey,
That
Yeah.
because that's super high.
Not so
Yeah.
much.
Well, it
Oh,
would make
well,
sense, like George said. If you guys didn't see the video, I mean, these buildings came down like it was just scary to, almost like
Yeah,
a bad
just-
movie, George?
Just like a cards, like a
Yeah.
house of cards. Just
And Kathy's saying there was one here.
Oh,
Well,
God,
you
God,
figure
God.
buildings
Yeah.
Gosh, oh my.
flexing that
Yeah, I remember
much,
that
right?
one. I remember that one when we lived in Ajax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's there's a fault. I think it runs from Oshawa somewhere to Pickering and that. And I don't know. I'm not a geologist, but yeah.
So
Mine was at my former golf range. I thought, did I ever smash that friggin' golf ball?
well, one thing where I grew up in Sudbury.
Okay. Oh, wow. Yes.
There's mining companies up there, all Inco.
Yeah.
How do you distinct the two? Can you really, in living there, I don't know if I ever asked anybody when my time's up there, can you really just be able to be distinct that you are hearing the TNT and such?
Yeah. Well, we have that
Well,
here, actually.
You would
Oh.
hear.
There's a big cement plant here just in Bowmanville.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And they have
yeah.
a blast, I think, 3 times a week, like Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, 2:00. And like the whole house shakes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
there's
like the
not
pictures
lost.
move on the wall, and if you're upstairs, it's like, holy crap.
Yep.
Quite the
So a
sound.
lot of the mining tunnels in Sudbury, obviously, they have to be. There was a time where they used a lot of dynamite to blow them out, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So I got a lot of experience with that actually. It's
Okay.
but some of the levels, I mean, you're talking the lightest level might be like 1,500 feet, but then you're going down to, I think the deeper levels are 7,500 feet below the surface.
Can you imagine working in a place like
No,
that?
it's funny you say that, Joe. I never could. God bless people that do that.
Oh
I
man,
never
it
could.
takes a. Yeah, they
Well,
have
I
my
have to tell you
admiration.
that there's one way in and one way out, right?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
have,
Yeah.
like, so for fire egress and stuff, it's very dangerous. They have
Oh god, yeah.
they have a lunchroom, okay, and I actually built a system for I think it was Inco or something.
All
when
right.
I was doing some engineering, but it or drafting somebody else's design, I think it was. But built a thing called a stench gas system, and what it was down in the mine, if a blast goes off, you're not going to hear it, and sometimes you don't hear the warnings. So what they'll do is if a blast comes off and they suspect it could be a big one, and not everybody's out, they'll release a thing called stench gas, and it's a vial, and the vial breaks, so there's a mechanical mechanism that pops it, and it smells so horrible. It's like a garlic nasty egg thing.
Gee.
And so typically what'll happen, it's used for emergencies, so a planned blast is different, right? But
Yeah.
if they suspect anybody could be out there, there's an emergency, they'll fire the stench gas, and you have no option but to pull your hard hat off and puke in it or puke on the ground. But you make your way to the lunchroom, and the lunchroom is ventilated and it's kind of sealed, right? So without getting there, you're just gonna, be sick for hours.
Yeah.
But it's a way to alert everybody that, hey, there's an emergency.
Wow.
So the conditions, in hundreds of years, honestly, I don't think, okay, they've improved in a lot of ways, but you're still underground and you're still going down a cage that can fit maybe 10 to maybe like 15 people.
Yeah.
Those cages get stuck.
Oof.
Yes.
It's very claustrophobic. Every 1,000 feet you go down, can be almost a 10-degree rise in temperature.
And you're talking on an average of how deep, Ringo?
Probably like the average, I would say, is probably around 4,000 feet. But
Come
the
on.
deeper ones are like 7,500. Almost
Oh,
10,000.
I'm scared already.
Jeez, I can't imagine
I
going out
went
to
in one
work
in
every
the
day.
US,
No.
Oh, you
and
did?
the elevator went down 1.5 miles.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and we were in an elevator. That was to go explore some caves.
Right.
There's a underground waterfall there and all kinds of stuff like that. And we were that far down.
I don't know. It's
Yeah.
never been my kind of.
No.
Like I said, I
No.
respect.
It just gets really cold and damp very quickly.
I
Definitely
bet.
not
Right?
for everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Well,
some it's either
okay.
what is it? Is it a phobia? It's either down, going down deep, or in a small area, or it's in the sky. I've always had a fear of kind of heights in a way, but yet I feel so safe in a private airplane, which I've had more than a few chances to fly in.
Yeah.
I don't know
Uh-huh.
what that is.
More like that, right? It's just secure. But that has a lot to do with pressure and the fact that, because they regulate that. And it's different. If you're out on a building, climbing up, upside a building, I don't know about you, but I have a learned fear of heights because I've fallen in, construction and stuff like that.
Yeah, me
now
kind of
it's-
too. But is it that? I don't know. Like, are you Ringo? Like, I'll even watch a friggin' a TV show or something go by it, and if it has to do with heights, I just kind of, I don't know. There's something about it, but yet, like I say,
Yeah.
in a private airplane, it's almost like if we're going down, I really don't care. I don't feel fear whatsoever.
Well, it's definitely with heights, heights, or it could be snakes or spiders. I think it's one of those fears that some people are just naturally, can you overcome it?
Yes.
People do, but
Yeah.
It makes me
I've
think of
learned
that
that.
show
I'm
Fear,
old
that
enough
show
now.
Fear Factor, in regards to the
Yep.
shit they did.
Yeah.
Oh my God, no thanks. Some of that is really.
Here's the thing.
Well, it's
Like,
funny. You talk about private planes. I went up in a private plane once too. I don't know
Yeah.
if you know what this is, but it was a 1942 Beaver.
oh
It's a
yeah,
water plane,
yeah.
I do know
and
what you're talking about. Yeah.
the doors are canvas, and they're just little grommets, and they hook on. So as you're flying, the door's doing this in the wind, right? And you're just looking around. You're going, "Oh yeah, oh yeah."
Yeah.
And then the pilot starts banking, and you're going, "Oh my God, here we go."
Well,
But
that's the thing
yeah,
about it,
it's
that you guys know that the wings and everything, they're not of whatever in this. They do move. Let's face it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
well, they have to, otherwise they
And
break
they have
off,
to.
right?
That's right. So what
Yeah.
do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, so since we're talking about that, so what would you think is more kind of eerie in that feeling? Either a jet airplane with the wings doing this, or a private airplane. Which would you feel better about?
Hmm.
Well, a private one where the wings are bending up and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
would think, do they do proper maintenance on this? Where a jetliner always has maintenance on it, right? So I was like,
Yeah.
Well,
My thinking is
because
my thinking is the jet goes down quicker, so I think I still go back to the private airplane. I don't
Okay.
know.
That's,
so Heiko,
Yeah.
as far as
So-
beavers go, I grew up on a lake, that whitewater lake in Isilda.
Oh, there, yeah.
So
Okay.
we had beavers on the lake. They're great hunting transport vehicles and stuff like that, right? So, but and I've flown them many times. I was in Air
Yeah.
Cadets. My plan was to get. In fact, I had kind of been awarded a thing called my power wings, and was supposed to
Oh,
go down
nice.
that path. But one of the things I wanted to do was ultimately work at on in float planes.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
when you can put your arms out, extend both your arms out, and touch both walls of the plane,
Yeah.
that is unnerving, because it's almost like you're on this flying skateboard, right?
And it
'Cause
doesn't mean
you're gonna feel-
you're fat either.
No.
No, like I said, this was a little plane. The
these are
Beaver. There was.
one-seaters or
Yeah.
two-seaters, but not
Wow.
like your
Yeah.
let's say airline Beaver, which is a
Well, and the crazy ass thing was, two brothers owned this plane. They were friends of friends. We just went up to a little town called Manitouwadge, a big mining town way up north,
All right.
and they lived right on this.
kitchen parties.
Call it an itty bitty lake or a giant pond, and they had the water plane on that, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
So they took us up for a little flight around, and as soon as you lift up over the trees, there were lakes everywhere. Like it was, I've never seen anything like it. It was so beautiful. Like, I mean, hundreds and hundreds of lakes all in one view, right?
Yes.
So it came down, the boys started drinking some beer, and then they fired the plane up again. And you know what they did? They went water skiing behind the plane on their pond.
Wow.
That's what they didn't have a motorboat, but they had the plane. So they would tear this thing around over top of the water, and they would water ski behind it. And then when the one brother got really, really hammered, and he wouldn't let go.
Wow.
So his other brother started going higher and higher and higher until he lifted him right up off the water, and then he finally let go.
Wow.
Oh yeah, just crazy up there, those people.
When you're brought
But
up in
then
your atmospheres and such, just like Ringo's saying there, right? It's sort of part of what you, me was farm and such or whatever. But oddly enough, though, I just realized, Ringo, you said Sudbury, right?
Yeah.
That's where I had my first experience. They owned, and probably maybe the family still does, a lot of the lumber mills. Last name is Fryer, Fryer. They also owned the nine-hole golf course there as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Same experience, Heiko, all the lakes. And again, Ringo would be more familiar than I was. But that was first experience with a private airplane.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
Yes.
So I spent 11 years at CFB North Bay military.
Okay.
Down below underground. So you were talking about a mile underground. You drive in a propane bus a mile underground.
Wow.
And there was
No
a
thanks.
100 megaton blast door down there. And it's
Uh-huh.
built under a mountain, right? So it was
Yeah.
part of the North Warning System for NORAD.
Oh,
that was
is that
awesome.
where they have the Stargate in there?
He's
I
not
can't
allowed
really
to say,
talk about
Heiko.
all of I can't really talk about all of the things
That's
that
right.
went on.
Oh yeah.
I actually had red clearance, so the only room I couldn't go in was the mission breakout room, right? So
Okay.
like all, you know, say top secret mission, whatever.
Right. Right.
But anyway, so there they would have fighter jets. They would have up top, right? So there was an airport up top.
Yeah.
And so I've flown out of there in Hercules in a Buffalo,
I know
Oh wow.
Possum planes.
Yes.
And the ramps so these are troop moving vehicles generally, or you can move like military vehicles. And they open the ramp at the back. You can actually have a troop skydive right off the back, right? So it's interesting because I'd be sitting there and this door would be wide open, and a Hercules, like a Buffalo, they can take off with a very short stretch of runway, but they almost go vertical.
Wow.
So the back door is still wide open. So you gotta be but I'm amazed and excited about it. I'm not fearful of it at all. But put me on top of the CN Tower and say, like even that whatever it is, it's like a thrill thing where you tie yourself up on a lanyard. You stretch yourself out over the side of the CN Tower.
Oh,
yeah.
Skywalk.
Skywalk.
Whatever they call it.
Never.
Yeah,
You will
Skywalk.
not
Yeah.
see me
Really?
do it at all.
I'd do it.
Well, you
No
would.
problem.
No.
I would. Oh yeah.
Nope.
Well, I've actually been on the top of the pod, like unofficially with security. They said, George, do you know? We went all the way
Yeah.
up. Well, you get out of the elevator, the back of the elevator, there's maintenance doors so you can get out and everything.
Wow.
But then we went all the way to the top of the pod, and there was just a little cable going around the edge, and there was like granite or something on the roof, and then looking down into Front Street, like.
So
Whoa,
the feeling,
it's
what was the
wicked.
feeling, George?
Yeah, it was. It's pretty windy up there, I tell you.
Yeah.
Just looking over the edge,
Jeez.
Yeah, the fall won't kill you.
Well,
It's a sudden stop at the bottom.
Yeah,
That's
right.
That
Well,
outdoor, like Ringo was saying, that outside hook thing at the CN Tower. Now, of course, I've been up a few times at CN Tower, but outside thing, no, that's quite all right.
Yeah.
So
Well,
what a cool experience, Ringo, though, in one of those planes, though. That's really
Oh yeah,
cool.
no, I got
Oh,
to.
yeah,
I got
yeah.
to.
Have you when you went up to the tower? Did you go up to the sky pod, as they call it, the little bubble?
Yes,
Yep.
in there.
Well, that actually moves 3 feet in high winds. It's
In the wind.
And they close that off.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
if it's too windy, they won't let the public up there, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
But that moves 3 feet, and the big pod moves 18 inches. It actually moves, and it's like being on a boat when you're in high winds up there. It's like you can feel it.
Listen to the guy from England being the tour guide to us guys.
Yeah. CN Tower tour
Well,
guide.
that's
And I know you've been up there 10,000 times. It just seems so funny,
almost
you know?
like 9.5 years I was going up there. Yeah. What do you want to know about the tower? I was up there, and I remember the first time that it was pointed out to me. Like I'd only been. It was November. I'd just been there a couple of weeks, and Guy, one of the night managers, said, "George, can you feel that?" And I'm like, "What?" Because it's a really stormy night, right? And he goes, "Can you feel the movement?" I went, "Movement?" Yeah. And he said, "Look at the mirror balls. There was 4 mirror balls, disco balls." And he said, "Look at them, because the pendulums, and they're like."
Interesting.
I'm like,
really.
holy crap!
Wow.
And I'm like, I could feel it moving then. I could really feel it moving.
Yeah.
Slowly,
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, hey George.
That's city living, you see. We don't go up in, planes with no doors over lakes. That's about that's George of the Concrete Jungle experience.
No kidding.
I like that line, George the Concrete Jungle. There's a
George of the Concrete Jungle. Yeah.
So
You know what's funny? George, from the Atomic Ballroom and Heikadelic Show told me that if I wore headphones and a microphone, he'd teach me how to be a DJ in space. Well, I'm already up here. So where are you, George?
I was the highest paid DJ in the world, geographically speaking.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a question then. Okay, so what is the most, and this is personal, it doesn't even matter, but what is the most money from a DJ's perspective that you ever made for a gig, George?
For a gig?
Yeah.
Well, it would have to be, actually, it was December 2017, and I got booked. I played in Stowe, Vermont in the US.
All right.
Like somebody took me down to play a wedding.
All right.
And I was down there from Thursday through till Sunday. Yeah.
So how much money?
Well, that's, it wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot compared to what a lot of other guys had charged. But I knew the person. I knew that, Corinna, and I knew Matt as well. And
mine was $1,000.
Okay.
I actually put my foot in my mouth. I was when I was doing DJing back in the day. Anyway.
Yeah.
So my friend asked me to cover for him, and I went there. And I always put on a show personally as a DJ to get everybody involved. Anyway, long story short, these guys in suits were, you've had this, I'm sure, approaching me. And I thought, oh, here we go, turn the fucking thing down, blah, blah.
Oh, God, yeah.
But no, they go, are you busy New Year's? I said, listen, I'm just covering for a friend. I don't know what's going on. And I'll just say, fuck it. I was sarcastic. I said, you can't afford me anyway. And you don't know that, they said. I said, okay, I want $1,000. And they said, okay. So I did the gig.
Well, that's what I did with Corinna, because they paid for the motel. They paid, I had her car. They paid for everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a project to put everything together, because I had to get some equipment over the border and all that kind of stuff. But I remember I didn't want to do it. I did not want to do it. And I remember going to her office in Oshawa, and I said, because she asked me about a year and a half before the event. It was like July of the year before. And I thought, I don't want to do that. There's so many things that can go wrong, and it's just horrendous. And I could lose some equipment. I just didn't want to do it. And I remember, it was one of those days, you go, okay, Chris, so, I want this, and blah, blah, and she goes, yeah, you've got this, that. And I said, at the end of the day, I'd love to, clear that, if that's okay. Pay for the flights and everything. And she went, okay. And I went, oh, no. I was hoping to say no. I gotta go. Yeah, so that was it. I was in there, and I couldn't get out of it then. Yes. So I had to do it. Yeah.
It's in turn, same as with Ringo and his Motor City Maniacs. There's certain gigs, all of a sudden you're treated like a super fucking rock star. I would Ringo a couple of times, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
I've never. Well, I actually said I want to go down Thursday. I want to be there Thursday afternoon, evening, to just get the lay of the land, blah 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 blah. And as luck would have it, I should have been flying out of Toronto at, I think it was 9 o'clock. We were going to, I think, Washington. There's no direct flight, so we had to kind of switch planes. Plane got delayed by 3 hours, so that was the start of the trip. It just you know what I mean? It was just I didn't get there till Thursday evening, 8 o'clock. It was nightmare, absolute nightmare. Cell phone wouldn't work, right? And it was oh my god, yeah. But at the end of it, it was great to have done it, because it went really well.
So that's a touring type of thing. That's really cool, Jordan.
Oh man, I had to organize equipment, rented some stuff down there. It was it was a lot of work, Right. Yeah, to just guys, one day, really,
You were talking.
You went all by yourself?
Yeah, it's on my own. Yeah.
Okay.
Just me.
Some bring the girlfriend's wives and whatever sometimes.
No, because I was going, it was flying, and it's it would chip into the what I was going to make if it took anybody down, because I would have to buy the air tickets, right? So
what a freaking great experience, though, man. That's a great experience.
It was a great experience. I remember driving. It was at the Von Trapp Family Lodge. The Sound of Music movie.
Yeah.
Well, the real people. That's where they came to and built this big lodge.
Okay.
And that's where it was. There's all Sound of Music stuff all around the place.
All right.
And I can remember coming out at 2:30 or whatever it was, and I was in Corinna's car. She left me a car for the 3 days so I could get around. And I remember coming out of the venue, and it was just starting to snow. And I remember coming out, and it was like that moment when you went, "Fucking hell, I did it!" You know what I mean? It was like, and I remember driving down this hill, going, "Fucking hell, I did it!" So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's great. Yeah.
So
the build up, I was
Junior,
a wreck.
you were mentioning about like what a DJ makes. So this person that I have, and these are just images of someone named Tagger Lily, and I've been following her for a long time, like on Facebook, like years actually, because I was intrigued about these DJs who made, they're world renowned. And when you look at Tagger Lily, and then there's Jonathan from Korn. So when he's not playing in Korn, he's doing these massive DJ events. So I think sky's the limit if you get the right gig and you got the right, obviously the right promotion behind it. But it's hard to see this picture, but there's probably 1,500 people or more in this club.
Oh, way more, I think.
Yeah, probably way more. But these DJs, it's a complete career. I don't think she's topped $1 million a year, but it's up there, right?
You're kidding me. Oh my God almighty.
Yeah.
So,
No,
I never could have dreamt it. And you're right, Ringo, that some of the level of it had gone. It's almost like, George, you feel like sometimes are you behind or whatever 10 years and where it's gone. Because I can recall, like I said earlier, when I DJ'd, really making it a point to fucking involve the crowd. And I have many times, and you can do it with the music to get your crowd in a roar. I've had people crash their heads into the ceiling because they jumped too high to shit like that, So
well, I was always, I mean, a lot of DJs are like, they get their head down or whatever, and
I don't get that. I never did.
And they like, surround themselves or whatever. Yeah. Like even at the tower, I mean, you were kind of exposed. But I don't mind people like crawling all over you, talking to you. You know what I mean?
No, yes, you're right.
I love it. That to me is my kind of DJing, where they are part of what you're doing. They're actually involved because they're talking to you.
Other than, but hang on. Yeah. Drunken idiots are also the reason I stopped doing it. I got sick of that shit.
Yeah. But that's part of the gig, you know what I mean? So
but
let's do it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I actually,
as I say, I lived my life on the edge. For years of a dance floor, right? For years, So the closer to the dance floor you are, the better. I don't want to be up somewhere. And,
no, I agree to that kind of thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that but I guess same as in a band, they Ringo, like you don't want idiots. Some of them got
No. Well, I've had some of them. But actually not too bad, really. People are pretty good normally. You know what I mean? You always get the odd idiot, but
And contrary to what people may or may not think, there are DJ groupies.
No, really? I don't think so.
But see, it's funny that you say that too, because what George and you did, you would play songs for people, like it's recorded music from artists that people like.
That was what it was all about, Heiko.
Yeah, I know, but this new thing, like the one that Ringo just showed us, Tiger Lily.
Oh,
she does not do that. She actually makes her own music.
Oh shit! So she owns the production. Go ahead.
No, not even that. Is they actually make it live, off the cuff, on stage. They have all these electronics and all these gizmos, and they make their own music, and that's what all the young people are just going nuts over.
Yeah,
there's even DJs that tour.
Ringo, that's what that is. That techno pop, whatever. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah,
and it's got a beat, and it's got sounds, and it's got this, and the young people go insane over it.
They do,
and that's who Tiger Lily is. And there's a lot of other ones that are like that.
Well, when you look at
it's a little different, right?
Yeah.
George, what was the band that did "Insane in the Membrane"?
Cypress Hill, wasn't it?
Cypress Hill. So they do that. They're freestyling DJs, right?
Yeah.
And they come up with all these cool sounds. And Tagger Lily does that.
Yeah.
Jonathan from Korn does that. So there's an element of creativity that goes beyond just.
Okay.
That's right. Well, my younger son is a DJ, like DJ Shams. James.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like I'm telling you, he's like light years ahead of what I've ever done. Light
Oh
years.
shit! Wow.
He mixes on the go. It doesn't actually,
Yep.
you know what I mean? It's just, I mean, he's got, because today the equipment is great for doing that, but I mean,
Right.
it's not something my generation kind of did. But I just watch him and I'm just totally amazed at like how he does it. He remixes songs on the fly. It's like,
Yes.
he has 3 songs playing sometimes.
I think
And I'm
the
like, holy
difference.
crap, and like if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be DJing now. Because when we went onto like laptops and everything, I didn't have a clue how to like,
Do that part, yeah.
change over. And it was
right. Are you kidding me? Absolutely.
and it's like I was like, I wouldn't have had a chance. I'd still be playing
Yes.
CDs right now. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
But I just like, wow,
Because on the little, what are they, Fire Sticks or whatever, you can load iPod, 1,000 songs for God's sake.
Yeah, and he's like, he's like, if you listen to a song playing, it might be somewhere, and he's got In Excess here going into something there, and it's like, I don't remember that bit on the record. It's like something's going on, you know what I mean, in the background, and then something else crops in, and he plays like, I play like almost the whole song. It just depends, but like he plays like his playlist for an evening. There's like 300 songs on there. He plays like a minute and a half of every song.
Oh,
He's
I
just
see.
on the go all the time. I thought, well, I can't do that. It's time for hang up the headphones if I had to do that.
Wow.
Yeah. It's fascinating when you look into it.
I will be right
Yeah,
back.
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Folks.
Yeah. And it's I mean, it's come on so much.
For the brief, I love the quickness of the technology. Bang in their next song. I love that as opposed to having.
Oh, that's great. I really love that. Because like one of the things when you're working and you're playing there, I mean, it can either come into your head, just you go, what would go great with this? You know what I mean? But you haven't got time to do it on grabbing a record or a CD.
Yes, yeah.
Or someone will come up and go like, hey, can you play this? And you go, oh, that's great. You know what I mean? And you haven't got time to find it on the CD, but on the laptop, it's like, boom, boom, and there it is. So there is. I like that side of it, but I'm still not really comfortable with the technology, to be honest.
I don't even want to go there. There's other reasons why I have somebody that's going to be helping me with this that new show I keep talking about. But there's some technical things that I have to learn that, and I'm actually honestly I got a kind of a kick in the ass the other day.
Yeah.
But a good one. I'm missing out on voiceover work. I don't have the equipment to be able to do this proper, and so the kick in the ass was from another professional, because if the gift is voice, then one should be exercising it, and if there's a paycheck in it, then that's great.
Oh yeah.
So I have to get that taken care of, and I have the time now, so to speak. So yeah.
Right on.
In saying that, because we all done it, because you had yourself, George, just to maybe think of this, because I know this is how I discovered it. Did you do funny voices or character voices, or learn them, i.e. would be, say, Kermit the Frog or somebody like that in your time?
A little bit. Well, I did a little bit of radio, and I used to write commercials and things like that. And
we're
sometimes
talking voice. We're talking voice.
Yeah. I remember one of them that I had to do was, and it was they wanted it sort of the next day or whatever. It started the morning, and it was like, this came in, and it was like for pizza, you know what I mean? So we need an Italian accent. Oh my God.
An Englishman doing an Italian, I like it, Heiko?
And then I had to record. Yeah, I was on my own at the time, right in the studio. I just came in late, and
you don't happen to remember a little bit of the bit or anything?
No, I don't have it. No, it was a pizza place in a big shopping complex.
To me, that's what I always love about it.
Yeah, I love the studio. I mean, I only scratched the surface.
Mind. Yes,
I scratched the surface. I mean, I used to do things like speed my voice up and talk to myself in 2 different voices. And it took forever to do things like that, right?
Plus, Heiko, in the radio stations, when we had to do our own commercials from our writers,
right,
we would have a library of sound effects.
Yeah.
Right.
But on record. So on this certain record, it would be, let's play pretend bells. So you have on each one of the album cuts, a jingle bell, there you go.
That's just all. That's for radio. It's all sound effects.
There you go. So you would use.
And I have
for the background.
3 of those LPs full of sound effects.
Oh well, then yes.
Oh, these are right.
Yeah.
You can't buy them in the shops. They're like a library.
No, you
Chapel
can't. No, there were
music.
just radio stations that
Yeah.
had them.
Yeah, I have 3 of them. They're so cool.
Oh,
You
I've
look at
lost
the list
track,
and-
George, of how many records that I've actually, quite frankly, I'll say now, I don't give a shit. I've stolen from radio stations that are promo for radio only. In most cases, I asked the boss because what was happening then, all music was sent to all radio stations. So if their format wasn't that, well, of course, what do you do with the records?
Right. That's right.
So that's how in my over my shoulder I talked about the Rush one that you cannot buy. It is similar to. So.
Yeah. But I mean, like I was very fortunate because I was doing club work and bar work, whatever you want to call it, for years and years, both here and in the UK. I was on a lot of mailing lists personally from the record. I used to get serviced by all the companies in London. Nice. And when I came here, I did the same thing with the big 7 labels here, as they were at the time. Okay. And I got serviced. You know, you have to do reactions and all that. I used to do charts and things like that and let them know stuff was going. And I used to get nearly everything that way. You know, it's crazy.
Oh, that's
but I remember going back to the reel-to-reels. I remember I used to do like a thing on a Saturday afternoon sometimes, and we used to cover soccer, football over there, right? So I thought I want something, and I used to watch like the teletext, as we call it, you know, the screen for the scores coming up, and I thought I'd like a little voice for that. So I got Lawrence, who was like the studio manager, whatever, and I said, Lawrence, can you do like, let's say, and I came up with, it's in the net, right?
Yes.
And then I got him to do it a few times, and then I made it like, I can't remember how I did it, but I wanted to go, it's in the net, right? Okay. So I got it on a reel. It took me to do that little thing. It took me like 2 afternoons, like about 8 hours to come up with it. And it was 7 seconds. Wow. The actual finished product, 7 seconds. Because I had the razor blade and, you know, and the pencil, the white pencil, the yellow pencil, and
that's right.
Yeah. Oh,
and how about razor blades, eh?
The razor blades. That's what I'm saying. And he'd chop it, and he'd get the splice tape, and he'd like, 2 afternoons to come up with 7 seconds for this little soundbite thing.
Yeah. Oh, I truly that's the other side. I don't know if I honestly, it's hard to kind of say, but I will say whether I was having more fun in the studio and or on air, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know,
I like the studio. I mean, like, that one there was great, but then when I sort of found what you could do in the studio, I thought, I'm into this.
Well, I'm more relaxed, I suppose. Not that I wasn't relaxed on air. There's times that I, kind of sort of miss it, but
but see. It's funny because you guys are talking like that now, and I know exactly what you're talking because I used to splice tape too, right? And there's people out there listening, and they're going, "What are you talking about?"
Reel to reel, folks.
Reel to reel, or even cassette. I did it on cassette, and then I recorded audio on VHS.
Yes.
Because it was a lot wider, so the quality was better.
Yeah.
And even if you go before that, that's how film was edited.
That's right.
They say when they did cuts, they actually physically cut the film, took the bad piece out, cut it again, and glued it together.
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about.
It is 10,000 pictures, let's face it, but that's the same principle.
Yeah, it is
exactly the same. And now everything's electronic. That doesn't happen anymore.
Oh my God! Yes,
editing, cutting, and splicing. That's what was happening. They cut the pieces out that they didn't want.
That's right.
So I know what you're talking about, George.
Oh man, yeah.
When you're
very cool.
How it really has changed a lot. Well, we interviewed Miles Gubin recently. He brought up something that I just didn't realize. So what he had stated was that in certain songs or such that they couldn't get that on the actual LP.
Right.
Because of what I don't know what the word is. What would be the word? It doesn't pick it up properly or such or whatever. So but reel to reel was the thing for a better sound in most of our times. That's why cassettes became popular, right?
Yeah.
So remember taking a pencil and tightening up the cassettes, boys?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then sometimes you just do it too hard, and
it fit in there perfectly.
It'd come off, and you had to unscrew the cassette. and
Yes.
put it back on again. The little
Yep.
clear bit that would come off sometimes.
Uh-huh.
So
Like
on
the
the
school.
on the compassionate side of life, Ringo, you sound a little bit rough. You have a bit of a bark cold going on.
Well, I was actually on a construction site Thursday, and it was very, very, very dusty.
Okay,
So probably should have wore a respirator or something. But
it's on your
Friday
lungs.
I woke up and
Yeah.
I was just felt like I swallowed razor blades. So
You
then,
can't be doing that if you're going to be a singer, sir. You should know better.
no, I know. And then progressively through the day, it got worse, and I don't
Yep.
really, have the sense that I have a cold, but now it just kind of dust everywhere, like my lungs, my
Yeah.
sinuses, and
You
so
can almost
yeah,
do like the cartoon there and cough it up.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Cough up
and
your
then
dust ball.
Saturday went out with a bunch of us went out to see a Motley Crue tribute band.
I heard this.
Yeah, and so it was loud, right? So you tend to talk a bit louder, and
That's
yeah,
right.
by midnight,
Yeah.
That's some of probably what's going on as well. Yeah.
right. So I went in. I was I was in an office today, and I of course, right away they noticed the voice, and they're like, "Are you sick?" And I'm like, "No, I'm kind of."
I would ask too.
Well, absolutely. I mean, absolutely, 100%. I have a mild dust allergy, which doesn't really.
Oh
There's
shit.
two ways I get affected by it. I'll start to get like a rash, almost like on my wrists, which I'm scratching really badly right now.
Really, eh?
But so yeah, I gotta take like things like I went out and got some Reactin because now it's been Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it's still present but getting better, right? So, but I can
Right.
tell it's that because there's no other reason I get that rash, right? So it's
Wow.
just like a redness, but very itchy kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
That or I'm gonna win
Yeah.
money or something, but I'm not that lucky. So yeah, just
So I
other
heard
than
you not say the name, but I do know kind of who it was about the crew band. Just an off night, or some people, and I agree because we talked about tribute bands last time I
Yeah.
was on your guys' show.
Mhm.
But I do agree. I did hear the statement that it's not a failed statement that if you're going to work your craft,
Yeah.
work your fucking craft.
absolutely,
Yes.
especially if you're gonna knock off do a tribute act, right? And
Yes.
Like a big band, right? You're doing a tribute. Get it right.
well, and
I
then,
will always defend, and maybe Ringo, you'll respect this. I've said it before.
yeah,
First off, the statement: don't call yourself a fucking singer unless you are. But
Yeah.
in respect, people need to understand that is an instrument that you are not in control of. So
Yeah.
you can have an off night.
on off night. So
Sure.
So what I felt like I thought the singer was actually pretty good, and it took a couple of songs to sort of warm up, right? But with tributes, I mean, I'm used to pretty good tribute acts, and
Yeah. Well, I am
you
as
know,
well.
yeah, absolutely, and they're killer right from the start. So, and you know what, people like if I was out singing right now, I wouldn't, I'd be cracking up all the time. But
Yep.
so there was that, and I found when they did the older stuff like Helter Skelter and everything, they were great.
Right.
The new stuff, and to really mod shout, I thought that was just like no, you can't do that, right? It wasn't even like that's a signature tune, right?
Yeah.
But it was like they I'm trying to think of that song, Primal Scream, I think it is, right? So
Uh-huh.
they got that slide thing. They were doing that in Shout. It's like, dude, and I play guitar, right? So I know what they're doing. And it's and then there were about three songs that, towards the end, they were train wrecks. So
Wow.
Yeah.
but so I wondered, like, did these guys just come out of retirement or something? And this is their first second rehearsal maybe or something. But yeah, it's definitely not easy. I'm jamming with our band's called the Jam Pilots, and we rehearse.
Oh, I recall you saying, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
on Wednesdays, and it's a lot of fun. But you know, the older I get, you can't. It just becomes a lot more difficult, and the stamina,
Yes.
everything comes into play. So,
Oh yeah, you're damn right it does. Actually, I just seen. I was saying about my boys Barstools and Band Talk. He was just interviewed Billy Sheehan.
Yeah,
who I'm.
Billy's a nice guy.
Yeah, great guy. But anyway, and he talked about that, about how, and even Darby Mills when I interviewed her,
I
about
love Darby.
that it has changed and whatnot. It's no longer in her case the Queen of Scream. You know, you cannot control age and whatever, so your octaves are going to be a factor in there. So. I guess it comes down to, you know, even any of them, like I say, oh man, if people could really truly understand, well, not that they maybe even should, but that's why I use that statement. If you're going to call yourself a singer, please make sure you do it properly. And it comes down to, we have been around it professionally enough, Ringo, that you should be backstage warming up that vocal properly. And I do not hear it from enough singers out there.
Right.
They're either back there puffing, I'm not knocking that, whatever, and then they just jump on stage and think magic happens. And they wonder why they will crash. Well,
yeah, you got it.
Right. Singer has to go the extra mile. That, you know, it's really about having that energy to get you through the night. So you have
I get pissed off at professional singers that still fucking smoke cigarettes and whatnot. I don't know. It's like, what the fuck? I'm jealous of that. It's like, are you kidding me? I gave up all kinds of shit just to my time trying to be a good singer. Geddy Lee used to smoke fucking Rothman cigarettes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
When I go out and do a show, though, it's been a while. I'm pretty boring that way. I don't drink on stage. I drink, you know, water. Got my little concoctions of.
Yeah, but it's become that though, Ringo. In your time, can you be within reason honest? Did you smoke cigarettes, weed, and whatever a little bit as well?
Dude, I was a train wreck at one point. I went from a Mickey a Jack, a Mickey a Jack over say a 4-night show, or like having some casual shots of beer or whatever, weed, to that Mickey turned into a 26 a night.
A night.
A night.
Holy moly.
Like, it was either Southern Comfort, Jack Daniels, or Jim Beam.
Are you kidding me, Jack?
And then it got, so one of the bands I played with, we toured so much. I think out of 52 weeks in a year, we actually did 50 weeks.
Right.
So, but my drummer, great band, great guys. My drummer passed away, but he ended up, he had a drum riser. So this guy was like, you know, into big production. So, but in the back of his drum riser, there was a flip door, and there was he had foam in it, and they were molded into different size bottles. So, you know, your Mickey all the way up to your 40 ounce. So what we would do is we would get to a club, and we'd get a, you know, fountain pop or whatever, and we'd mix it.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where I don't, you know, by today's standard, I think everybody would be in trouble. The LCBO would be up to the because it got to the point where we would have a lineup and sellout shows, and we were touring in a what was called an A circuit. So there was an A, B, and C circuit. So the C, you had to work your ass off to get to B, and so on. Yeah. Well, we lucked out one time, and we got into the A circuit, and that was awesome. I mean, like we toured in the same circuit that great tribute bands like Mama Kin and T.O. Joker, not the Joker out of Oshawa, but you know, back in the day, these guys were killers. Eagles tribute band, right? So we do. Sometimes we'd even do shows with them, but you know, 1 week they'd be playing at a club, we'd come in after them. So there was this perpetual lineup. So we rolled with it, and it was a lot of fun. The bar owners treated us so well. The accommodations
Yeah, but I brought it up before, Ringo. The free at a higher level, because I've been there myself. The free shit backstage is also the poison. My poison, as I say, wasn't alcohol back then. Well, I don't give a fuck now. I am retired. But, it was cocaine and weed, and it got me. I was fortunate. I don't want to say I ever kind of got in trouble per se, in any kind of real bad aspect, but well, this here tooth right here is fake. Again, we're talking when I was a singer, okay? So this tooth right here is a post. All right.
Yeah.
All my other teeth are good, trust me. But anyway, this is the post. So I say this story because whacked on fucking cocaine. Where was I? I want to say Orangeville. It's so long ago. I'm pretending I'm Steven Tyler, okay? And I do the spin, and I whack into the microphone, and I literally knock my tooth out and swallow it. I'm blood everywhere. But when you're on fucking cocaine, this is really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Type of thing. So
No, you're right.
That I'll just end it on that because there's a lot of stories that can be attached. But
Yeah.
anyway, I'll be, thank God, fortunate that I did not get addicted, that it ruined my life because
Yes.
I remember us playing.
That's awesome.
The other side I'll share about, they say about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. You know what?
Yeah.
This is a great show. So the sex part of things is really cool. Okay. But again, let's go back to that word cocaine. Yeah. Two things happen, okay? And it doesn't matter. I'll be respectful, ladies that are watching. Two things happen. It's either you are a fucking rock star on it, sexually speaking, or it just don't work.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you
one or the other.
When you have a beautiful woman in front of you, blah, 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 leave it at that, and it don't work, it will make you puke.
Well, I never... I never had alcohol was never a thing with me, or even like drugs or anything like that. I did a bit of weed, but I used to smoke like in my late teens into my early 20s, just like regular cigarettes.
Yeah.
And I remember I could buy 20 cigarettes in the morning, a packet of 20, and it'd be done by late afternoon, and have to buy another 20 for the evening. I was like almost doing 40 a day. Right, I was like 18, and like I say, into my early 20s, very early 20s.
Problem, boys, we all thought we were fucking invincible and all.
Yeah, we thought we were cool. It was cool to smoke and everything, and it's just
Hey, it's confession night. It's confession night. Heiko, tell us your poison.
They say that the human brain doesn't fully develop until you're like 26 years old, right?
Oh God.
Yeah.
And I did my first. I think I mentioned this on the show, but one of our favorite shows, Heiko, Letterkenny.
Yes.
If any of you are familiar with that,
if not, look it up and watch it.
Look it up. But I think it's the first or second episode in the first season. They show a bar called the Star Tavern. Well, the Star Tavern was in my hometown. When Letterkenny started filming, it was closed down. It's just they used the shell, but now it's a parking lot. It's gone. But that Star Tavern, which I love to see that episode over and over again. I did my first show in there, and I was 15.
Yeah.
Wow. And from there, I never looked back. I actually just went up and did a fill-in. And then the band, one of the guitar players left, and the band asked me to carry on with them. So that was it was a lot of fun, and we did a lot of shows.
Yeah.
So back then, doing what we did, we would get, if we were out for, maybe a four-day stint or something like that, we'd be making like $7,500 on that week, right? Yeah, like back then we had like a Van Halen production, right? This band I talked about that we played almost 50 weeks a year. It was so bad that I would say to our booking agent, I say, listen, you know what? here's the weeks I need off because I got a wedding to go to. I got this to go to.
Right.
I'd be driving down the road, and then I'd hear playing at Checkers tonight, blah, blah, blah. And, I call them up and say, hey, guys, what are you doing? But you know what? I had to make a choice. My cousin's wedding.
Yeah.
Or I go to the wedding where my rock and roll stage clothes, where everybody's else, wearing suits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I blow that off and I go rock for the night. It's like not even a contest. It's rock,
Yeah.
Love
Clark,
it.
Clark Kent to super rock star.
It was fun. It was fun.
That's cool. Yeah. And you talk about going way back,
Yeah.
when you started and all this kind of stuff. It's funny. I just watched the documentary yesterday, and I got so into it.
Mm-hmm.
It was the creation to today of Buffy St. Marie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's a sweet
And
lady.
she's 80 years old now, and she's still performing.
Oh yeah.
Unbelievable. And just
Great
the way her career, she was with the biggest, with the top, but again, just the way her career went, because of she was indigenous, right? And so and so and so.
Soldier Blue, I remember that one.
Yeah, it's like wow. And she actually wrote some of the biggest freaking songs out there that all the artists have re-recorded. And you look at that kind of stuff, and it's just the history is amazing. It really is.
Heiko, that's what's funny about this thing called music. If you truly look into the history, Canadians have been more impacted than a whole lot of people, more than they realize. Type deal. Oh, here's what I was reading, by the way, before I let you go, George. Check this out.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. I've got a couple of things like that.
Well, we all have kind of a lot of it. But I want to get back to before you guys say goodnight. Heiko, so we were doing our little confessional thing from back in the day. Yeah. Your poison was alcohol or marijuana or?
Oh, got to be marijuana.
I never really got that at it, but I could drink so much and not get wasted.
Wow, you're one of those guys.
Yeah, and it was funny because I talked with my friends about way back, when we were in our 20s and partied our asses off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We would go to a party. We'd play caps, and we would just get completely...
I remember. Oh, I missed that. That was a fun game.
I know, eh?
Yeah. Well, the fun thing about being a DJ...
A caps record. I actually hit it 18 shots in a row.
Yeah.
So people didn't want to play... Yeah, I know. So people didn't want to play caps with me anymore.
No way.
But
I'd be fucking smashed.
It would be late at night, it's everyone's wasted. People can hardly walk, and it was like, okay, we got to go home, right? So how are we getting home?
Yeah.
There's Heiko. All right, everybody get in my car. Let's go. I'll take you all home.
Yeah.
And my buddy would go to me. Can I come for the ride? I go, sure. Right.
Yeah.
And your
so pile everybody in the car. I would drive everybody home. Yeah, and my buddy would look at me. He goes, how the hell could you drive? I go. I'm fine, right? And I'd pull, and I'd go back to the party with him after, and I'd open the door and I'd fall out of the car, right?
Yeah.
But I could drive.
Did you play time, George, or did you come to Canada late?
Oh, I came to Canada late, but I mean, like, I'm just going back there. Well, the fun thing about being a DJ, it clicked. So I went to, because I always thought DJing was on the radio, right? To me.
Yeah, well,
anyway, when I was at school,
go ahead, yeah.
I was at grammar school and what have you, and we went out one evening. I love records and everything. I was starting to buy my collection. This would be like 67, 68, right?
Right.
And I remember, like, me and a friend of mine went to the university. They used to have dances. They'd have a band on and a disco afterwards at Manchester University, at the Students' Union, as it was called.
All right.
And I remember going one night with him, with like one of my best chums from grammar school, Bob Hardy, and I remember the song I remember hearing was Satisfaction, right? And there's a DJ on, so by that time it was about 3 years old, and I just remember looking at this guy that was DJing to this dance floor, and I thought, wow, you can do that. You know what I mean? It's like I never really clicked, And I thought, wow, if I could be him up there, I could like go and party
yeah.
and come out of the party with more money than I went into it. And with
Maybe.
that money, it was just great. He had girls around him, and it was great, and he was going to make money. And I thought, and with the money I've got, I can go back to the record store and keep buying more records. So I thought, that's what I want to do. I want to be that guy up there. And the only lighting effects I remember was a single strobe was going above him. I thought, I want to be that guy, and that's how it kind of started. I never really clicked you could go on play in a discotheque. Up to that point, I always thought I had to go to radio. Yeah, and
there's that ugly word again, which we will not fucking talk about. Maybe one night there. Disco.
What's that?
Yeah,
disco. No, it's okay. I'll book you in for a few appointments, Junior, and we'll have a few therapy sessions.
I just it's in line of what we're talking about here. God, we're still like a bunch of seniors talking at the fucking home here. But anyway,
well, I am though. I mean,
I know. Well,
it's been brought home to me every day.
We're going to change the name, Heiko, to the Heikadelic Lodge.
That's right.
there we go.
Yeah. Hang on, but let me ask that first. Am I not older than you guys?
Well,
I think Ringo's the puppy here.
I
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
you notice we're not saying our age. That's okay.
Well, I don't. I know. I'll say. Okay, I'll say it. 70.
You're not.
Yeah.
No.
You're doing well, man, for 70, really. And that's why I joke
George
with
has got
the guy from the Doobie Brothers. You guys could be brothers. If you haven't seen that promo there, check it out. You'll think it's you.
George is our eye candy on the show.
The 11th of August, 1952. That's when I popped out.
And general good health too. It says.
Well, so far, but like I keep being told, well, it's an age thing. This goes, that goes.
Yeah.
Stuff's happening.
Some of it, I don't know. It does.
I've been checked out for a few things for the first time in my life, and that was like I'm trying to forget it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like, oh my god.
So how about you, Heiko? Are you going to confess the age?
I'm young. I'm good. Young at heart.
Okay, leave it alone.
I think with Heiko's fall and the 7 ribs getting busted up and all that.
Yes.
I think he's, tough and tested for.
Oh, he's tougher than me. I don't think. Talking of that about surviving.
Well, to happen that at that age is hard, right?
Oh God, yeah.
I've never broken a bone in my body all my life, and to have this happen at this part of my life, it was like all the doctors and specialists I dealt with. They said, "Wow, you've really we didn't expect you to come around."
Almost like a Humpty Dumpty scenario.
I just finished physio. I'm going to say 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Oh, come on.
And
it's been ongoing. I apologize. I didn't realize. I knew that you had gone through something.
That was over a year and a half of physio.
Wow. It's 2 years now, right?
Did a few
April?
It happened in April.
Yeah.
Last year.
And you still were on the show from your hospital bed that week.
I remember that. I did the show.
Holy shit.
When I was in the hospital.
Yeah.
I was in the hospital for 16 days, and I did the 2 shows from the hospital bed.
Came on and did.
I think the first one I didn't do the whole show because Ringo's looking at me and goes,
tired.
"You okay, buddy?" I go,
I
was hurt.
Yeah.
Talk about the show must go on. That guy down there. Wow. Nothing but admiration. Incredible.
What the heck, eh? Yeah.
But just the story that popped into mind, I'll share it with you because, like back in the day, talking about surviving, my first DJ gig in Manchester, the club was owned by like a family, Tony Stewart. There's like this family that had 3 clubs in and around Manchester, and that was my first residency. I was 18, and I thought it was the hot shot. You know what I mean? DJ 18, Mr. Cool. I wasn't at all. I must have been a dickhead. You know what I mean?
All that.
Yeah. And Tony said to me, like, because I worked at 2 of his places, and he said, "Next year, George, we'll take you out to the club I have in Mallorca, which is Spain, on the continent of Europe." And I'm like, wow. He said, "Yeah, you just come. do the nights, whatever, and then the rest of the day you have yourself, go on the beach, around the pool, and all that stuff. I thought,
Sure,
I'm in on that. I'm having
What
a
a
little bit
dream.
of that. I'm having a little bit of that. But at the time, I just met Liz, right, Mrs. George, as she became, and I remember I thought, do I really want to go? Because I was like, and I thought, okay, I'm not going. I'm not going to go. I'm just going to,
Wow.
I'm not going. But I'm pretty sure that if I had gone, like in 1971, whatever it was, I would have like not survived. Been exposed to that at that young age, I would have just gone
Really?
crazy. You know what I mean?
That's a
I just
fair way to look at that, It just is. It just, I understand that. I do.
Yeah. But it was tough at the time because I thought, shit, I could have done this, but looking back, I'm pretty certain I would be sat here today. You know what I mean?
I've talked about a few radio stories and stations I've worked at and whatnot, and it's almost sometimes the song by Frank. What is it? My Way, about regrets
My
I
Way,
had for you. I
Yeah.
don't know. I've always said, and maybe it's like that for you, Ringo, in regards to from the musician's point of view. That are you sorry that you did or sorry that you didn't? I've always been that I have to give this a try.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
No matter what happens, high hell or water, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And radio is so fucking cruel. Trust me.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
But being a musician is not like back in the day. It was kind of cutthroat. It was a lot of competition. Everybody slagged everybody else. But I had an opportunity. I think I was like 17 or 18. I was still in school, and there was a band. I think they toured with Frozen Pyramid, I believe it was called, or something back in they had an album or two. They were coming through Sudbury and something happened with their guitarist. So they were looking for another one to continue the tour. So they flipped me this contract to look at. And so it was one of those things, do I stay in school or go out on the road?
There you go.
So anyway, my parents are always pretty cool because they always did it. They let me make my own decisions because
you're fortunate. That's great.
A lot of common sense in. And so I looked at it and thought, you know what, I can go out on the road. And by the way, I did not know I had a voice at all. So back then I was playing guitar. So I was one of the bands I was in. I was always told by the singer, he was more of like a Geddy Lee type guy, great guy and everything. But he used to tell me, look, we're just going to turn your vocal off because, little did he know it was the budding voice of an angel. But that's my only regret. If I would have learned that I had some singing talent early on, because I didn't get into singing until I was in my early 20s, basically. So everything else I did was always guitar, right? And I wrote a lot of songs, but anyway, so if I had to do it all over again, I might have taken a shot as a singer, but tour bus is long gone, right? The closest thing we've come to it was in I think just before COVID, maybe 2019 or something like that. Kathy might know because we were just talking about this recently. But so my band MCM, we were offered a tour 3 years consecutively. The first one was like long. It was like 8 months. It was from a UK
that is long
record company, a band called Mansion, and I think Fred Durst actually from Limp Bizkit wrote songs for them or whatever. But so that was out of the question because we all worked for a living, right? So then they came back a year later and said, "Hey guys, are you up for doing this thing, East Coast, West Coast?" And again, it was just crazy. So the next year, just like I said, 2018, 2019, they come back and they said, "Okay, can you give us 2 weeks? You guys make it to Kentucky, and we'll tour right to LA and do like I think it was 13 shows or something like that. Like, so I'm like, hell yeah. So I talked to the band. We were all about it. The guys were willing to take some time off, but I think the last show was on the Sunset Strip. I'm pretty sure it was the Viper Room, Johnny Depp's old club. But these guys, we'd be on the main tour bus, and the thing about that band, they're super heavy, but they got this knockout gorgeous keyboard player, right? So I'm trying to do the math on how big the bus is and how squeezing 2 bands in there, what that would be like. But we couldn't get work visas fast enough.
Oh,
But you know what? That would have been for me, getting older and that getting on that tour bus for a couple of weeks and playing those clubs would have been so awesome, right?
Oh yeah,
Like
absolutely.
Yeah.
But, who knows, right? Right now, I've got MCM's kind of dead in the water for a bit, and it right now it's all about Phil. He's got to kind of like when he's ready to play,
right.
Then we're back in business, right?
Good.
Right.
And I will have to sometime get that. I don't even have a CD. Maybe just send it to my email address, the MCM and whatever there, Ringo.
Yeah.
I don't even have a CD player anymore. Not even in my new car. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well,
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it kind of is. I'm not.
Because everybody's got CDs everywhere, but now you can't play them in your freaking car. Like, come on.
I like the new car with all the new blah 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 on it. I'll say that because they all come with it anyway. Fuck, let's face it. You don't even have to. I know that they're more special. No offense to Beamers or whatever, but new cars just they do it all. I swear it's even a female that comes out on my blow up doll.
Right.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, the old Plymouth used to have an under-dash record player that played 45s.
No shit.
Yes, shit.
Come on.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So you put your 45s in there while you're driving your car.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I've seen them. I never saw a real one, but I saw pictures of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
I never. Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, technology. If you go back, there's some really, really cool shit, right?
Yeah.
I still remember I got to repair a cassette tape player. It was one of the very, very first. It was made by Philips.
Oh, yeah.
Auto reverse cassette player.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was the funniest looking thing. It had like a brownish, semi-transparent top on it.
Okay.
And it had like a bubble in the back. And it was just weird. And the guy said, well, it doesn't work anymore. The auto reverse doesn't work. I said, okay, so let me take this whole thing home. I have a look at it and check it out. Because I didn't know how the hell it worked either. But I opened it up and I looked and go, oh my God, this is so fucking cool. Yeah. So right in the front, the cassette would go in the very front of the unit and you push it down, right? And then you had all the buttons on the front of it.
Yeah.
When the tape was done, it would pop up, slide to the back of the unit, flip over, come back, and go down.
Oh,
so, because we used to do that with our hands. We would flip the cassette over, right? Yeah. So the first Philips auto reverse cassette deck actually physically flipped the tape over.
Wow.
Yeah. And later they figured it's easier to flip the head over than it is the whole cassette, right?
And now look at where all the technology's gone, sonnies. It's really changed.
I know. I still have a Denon double deck here. Tape player.
Yeah, me too.
And it's got a pitch control on it, which it's crazy.
Yeah.
I've had that.
I have an 8-track player as well, just for this.
I've got an 8-track, that someone gave me years ago, which I've always kept.
Pretty funny, eh?
Yeah. I mean, I still can't get my head around.
Seniors in the home, guys. I see that you guys have kept us into super overtime talking about all in the old days there.
So. The good old days.
Stuff.
I mean, I still can't get my head around it. I get in the van or the car or whatever, and I'm like driving and go, I don't want to listen to this. And I totally forget I can just plug my phone in I've got this whole
Yeah.
library on my phone, for God's sakes. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I've virtually duplicated a lot of my favorite albums and everything on the phone. And, you know, you get a new release and you just put it on. You never see it. But, you know, in the old days, you look like, you know, get the album and you put it on and hear it. And I used to make cassette tapes of it, all like new releases, and listen to them when I was driving back in the day, you know.
Yeah.
Think of where
But
it's
now
going.
it's so different. Now you sit in your living room and you just speak out with your voice and say, "Play the
Exactly.
Doobie Brothers."
I can't do that. I just can't do that.
And
I
there it
refuse
goes.
to do that. I don't know what it is. That to me is not, you know, it
Yeah.
might be Hal. He's going to take me over, you know, like Hal 2000, whatever it is in 2001. Next thing, he'll be controlling everything I do in the house.
Got 4 Googles in the house, and
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Do you got Ringo? Do you got to get up early, or
Oh yeah,
what's up? Yeah.
5:30.
So you wanna call it a night?
I think we should
But I do,
probably
yeah.
call it.
I can easily go for another half hour. I don't care.
Yeah.
No,
But
When is it?
whatever. It's been entertaining. It's been fun, and I got a whole bunch of stuff on my list here. I didn't even get into, so we'll save that for another day.
yeah.
Yeah. Right on, man.
But I will say this though about, you know, whether you're you know, in a rock band or any band for that matter, or DJ, or you know, like a promoter, like a MC type promoter, like you do a lot of that, Junior. I think, you know, you guys are rock stars in your own right, because it's really at the end of the day putting smiles on faces and people having a good time.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I played some
You got
clubs
it.
that are absolutely shitty.
Yeah.
You know, they're the kind of clubs that tough. If you suck, they're throwing bottles at you, right?
Oh yeah.
And like, play Blind River, Ontario. And
What's
Yeah,
that?
the good old ones
You
when
know,
they had
I
the cage in
hope-
front of the
I hope,
stage.
no disrespect to the Crew tribute band, but stay out of Blind River, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
No,
love-
it's
they love
fortunate,
the metal.
you know. Like you say, if you're doing what you like, you know, what's
Yeah.
that saying?
Yeah.
If you love what you do, you never do a day's work in your life or something
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
that, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And I've done that. You know, I'm not saying I couldn't make more money doing something
I've said
else.
it time and time again. It's always been about the fan and the music, and it always will
And
be.
just being able to do something you like day in, day out. I mean, sometimes,
Well,
you know, it's a
the
pain in the
best
ass.
gig, though, I'll end it on this. The best gig was DJing for Chippendale dancers in a room full of women.
Oh yeah,
Oh yes,
of course.
oh yes.
All right.
I'll leave it at that.
You could probably,
Yeah.
I've worked with both strippers, male and female. I'll tell you this story quickly, right? So I was working this club in Manchester, and on Thursday nights, because people used to go to the pub, and then at 10:30, 11, they'd go to the club, right? So
Okay, I understand.
they'd open at 9 o'clock, and it was dead, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Phil, the owner, he had this brilliant idea to bring a male stripper in to do 2 things between 9 and 10.
Okay. Yeah.
And the first week we had, the very first one we had was called the Bronx, right? And there's posters up like a few weeks before saying starting Thursday, whatever, between 9 and 10, the Bronx will be doing this and that and the other, right? And I was going to play the music for them. And I'd never worked with a male stripper or anything like that at that point. I mean, I've worked with female strippers, and I remember getting it. And normally I used to walk in on a Thursday night through the front doors, and there'd be like 2 people or 3 people, or maybe somebody sat at the bar, and that's it. You know what I mean? That was it.
Yeah.
I walked in this first Thursday night. It was wall-to-wall ceiling women, absolutely packed
Yes.
with women, all like dead noisy. And I have to make 2 trips because I have 4 cases of vinyl, right? I used to bring in.
Yeah.
Right.
And I had to go across the dance floor to get to the DJ booth, right? So I come in the front door,
Yeah.
I go across the dance floor, and I walk in, and these women think I'm the Bronx.
There you go. Yeah.
And they were wild. They were crazy. They were
And my
absolutely
mother's
crazy.
probably-
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, you know, like, come on,
I think
get
my
up
mother's
there, show us
getting-
what you've got. I'm like, shit, you know.
My mother's
So-
getting dollar bills out.
So I walked up. Well, I'm like obviously really embarrassed. Got my head down, and I'm like, I'm the DJ, right? I have to do another trip, and it's even worse this time. Right? They're absolutely screaming at me. And I'm
What a
like,
great
oh,
story. I
Jesus,
love it.
right? You know what I mean?
Even her-
So
I do know what
Yeah.
you mean. Yes.
yeah, and I get on the mic. Like, I've got to say something here because, like, you know, this is. I go, ladies, because he wasn't allowing guys in. There was no guys in. Like Phil's, ladies only. I said,
Yeah.
ladies, I hate to disappoint you. I said, but I am not the Bronx. I'm DJ George, like that. And for a second, there was like this pause, right? And then I went, oh, but show us your dick anyway.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
It's like,
You
oh
just
my
should have
God.
started unbuttoning your shirt. They
It
would
was
have lost their minds.
Well,
The thing with,
I've always,
like-
and that's a great story. I've looked at it this way: is number one, because I went out with a stripper. That's how I ended up in Sudbury, by the way. I went out with a dancer, whatever you want to say, for a year. But anyway,
Yeah.
the point is, I always said, how can you do that, man?
Yeah.
But then again, when I had this experience, I kind of went, when a man might think about it, let's think for a sec here. Now, you are one guy in a room full of women, and you're taking off your clothes, and they're putting money in the clothes that you have on or beside you.
Yeah.
That's a fucking fantasy, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, to me, what I noticed, because it eventually got shut down for a little while because it got crazy, right? I mean, to me, like when you got a male stripper and a female audience, the difference between a female stripper and a male, males tend to, like, you know, sit back. Women are like in there. They're like, they don't care. You know what I mean? They just go nuts. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, they're a little bit more savage.
Very savage.
Some
Yeah.
are within reason. That some of the guys, at least the Chippendale guys, I recall, they said, "Look, this is how do you put that? This is not a what do you call it? A one-armed bandit, so it's not meant to be pulled on."
Right.
So,
Yeah.
respectful side, but I will say that they have a blast. The women way more than all the guys, and going out, like I said, a full year of at least 200 clubs of my then girlfriend stripper. Being a stripper, guys are, that let's just say this, beaver and whatever, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But women have a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
You go nuts. Yeah. Very much more interactive.
We did a couple of several shows, and once you get liquored up, especially women, they get kind of crazy. I remember way back I was doing a show, and it turned out I can almost remember their names, but these two women came up to me. And I was singing, I don't even know what I was singing. Anyway, they were wasted. So one comes up and she's riding my microphone pole. The other one comes up and she's, got her hands everywhere. And, and she's grinding on my knee. Yeah. And I'm like, playing it up like, hey, this is cool. Everybody's kind of, giving their cheering and stuff like that.
Right.
So then the next day, my wife worked.
Oh, no.
Bank. Okay. And
There's a broom.
Managed all the tellers. So this girl turned out, she's sitting there with glass. Well, she's at a teller window and she's got her glasses on, right?
Oh,
and
shit.
I had no idea they worked together.
Yeah.
And
oops.
So that was interesting. And it was funny because she got in trouble because of coming in smelling like booze and everything. But the things that I could go on and on about stupid stories. Like
I know there's
one
a lot
night
of
we can maybe
stories.
just go through a whole lot of that. So, but
God,
thank you again for having me on, guys, this evening. It's always great to interact. This is always fun. My energy's starting to drop here a little bit as well.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I just want to say something real quick. Keisha here just mentioned her old floppy disks, cassette tapes, and her old Walkman.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw the other day on the news the Walkman's coming back. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
It's coming back.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've still got two Discmans here.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. Well, they're in the garage, but I have them there. I was them the other day.
On the weekend.
Should give them away as prizes. You can win a Discman.
There we go.
We went out to
all right, man. Yeah. That's been a fun show.
Yeah.
I think Ringo was telling us a story then.
Yeah, we went to a pop-up store that sells furniture, right? So
Okay.
yeah, the Walkman's coming back, but there's this thing called MCM, not my band, but mid-century modern furniture. Oh my God.
Really?
Yeah. It's thousands of dollars.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
amazing. Yeah.
Goes
That's
around,
funny.
comes around.
Yeah. And once again, because I'm sure that some of it hooked up tonight, thank you, everybody that has been in my corner. It's been an ongoing support continuously through the same, guys. Even if I don't post, I get texts all the time and messages. So those who are listening in, thank you so much. I even had a gentleman, and he wouldn't take no for an answer. So he sent money for gas. Can you believe how awesome people are?
Yeah.
He said, I have to do something, Junior. I'm not saying that you're whatever. He says, but please accept. I want to give you and send you an e-transfer of gas money. So I was fucking I was. A tear came to my face, guys. I mean, my God.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you to everybody.
Yeah, I did a benefit for a buddy who had stomach cancer, and we raised, I think it was $10,500 in one evening.
Wow.
So they were very grateful.
That's awesome.
We were in between, something to do with the job and all of that, but it was a good bridge for them.
Yes.
But you do what you can, and you know what? When you're going through those times, it's okay to accept that help, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
but you kind of don't ask it. Which I don't. It's who I am. It's really cool in today's world that can go on.
People like that are out there. Yeah.
Well, I think
I'll let you guys go though, because I'm really dropping here. So we'll talk to you soon, and I will fill in if you Derek's spot if you like each week. So it gives me something to do, whatever is going on, guys.
Yeah.
God bless. And thank you so much again.
All right, we'll be in touch, buddy.
You can drop me.
Take care.
Okay, guys.
Yep.
So we're gonna wrap her up, Heiko.
Yeah, if he wants to go, he can, and then I'm gonna wrap her up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm just want to put one last plug out there, guys. If you have never gone ice fishing and want to try, I want to put a plug out to Justin and Crystal. They own a business called Just Huts, JUS Huts. They have a .com, and they're on Facebook. They're in Port Bolster, and great place to go ice fishing. If you don't have any equipment, they will rent you the rods. They'll rent you fish finders. They'll rent you anything, and even they have cottages if you want a place to stay. So check it out, guys. And I want to thank our fans that were on the show tonight. Number one today was Richard. Holy crap.
Wow. Well done, Richard.
Usually it's the girls, so good one for you. And I want to thank Kathy, Melanie, Keisha, and Sandra for being a part of the show tonight. And I want to thank you guys. You guys are awesome and you rock. And we're going to do this all again next Monday night right here on the Heikadelic Show. Have a great week, everybody. Cheers. Stay out of trouble. I know that's hard.
Would there be nothing fun about that?
I know, eh?
Have a safe
Take
week.
care, man.
Ciao.
Yeah.
Well, that's another wrap for the Heikadelic Show, folks, so time to get dirty. And don't forget, listen in next week on Monday night and every Monday after that for the Heikadelic Show at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you'd like more information on the Heikadelic Show, please find us at www.theheikedelicshow.com or .ca. We'll see you all next week on the Heikadelic Show. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor for the Heikadelic Show, it's easy. Just send us an email at info@theheikedelicshow.com. Meanwhile, you can browse our website at www.theheikedelicshow.com or .ca. Click on our sponsor tab and find out more information on sponsorships. Thanks for joining the Heikadelic Show, fans.
Hey there. I saw the most disgusting thing on the internet the other day. It was one of those reels, and they were taking wieners and looking at them under the microscope. Raw wieners. Oh my goodness. I didn't know there were that many creepy crawlies on a raw wiener. So make sure your wiener's cooked really well or boiled. Don't eat it raw. This is sort of a Heikadelic announcement to keep you safe. Anyway, enjoy the show.